decided to bite the bullet. I wasn't going to do this till after the actual road work, but I think it's actually probably really needed now. And that's, pulled the old exhaust out of Woody. And as we can, the high quality it was, and it pretty much sounded like arse. Gone from a 2 into 1 pretty quick. A lot of bird shit. That's the actual exhaust hanger right there, the only one it had on it. God knows what that muffler is. And it just dumped over the diff. So I got all the exhaust bits, and right from the start I've been adamant that I want to keep it old school. I want a pure twin system on it. But I bought two 2-inch hot dogs for it, so I've got them there. Oh, I'll tell you what. But then I've got this 350 offset muffler, one of them. All my piping is 2 1/4. Oh, I'm a little bit torn now actually. I was going to just stick the hot dogs on to get the sound I really want. But then the old part of me is sort of saying maybe it's too much now, and maybe too much cop bait. So I started going to the idea of let's put that one single one on. So we make the twin pipes go as long as we can into that one muffler, and then we do the twin pipes out the back just for the cosmetics of it really. Because I've got me slash cut stainless steel pipes to go on the back already. And I did have a Land Rover V8 3.9 with a quadrijet on it, and I had the same sort of exhaust on that. And it was still probably a little bit too loud. I ended up putting one little hot dog resonator right at the very back just to knock off a bit of note. More so because it echoed up through the actual cabin, where this is a ute, so it's not going to matter too much. So it did have a bit of an aggressive edge to it until I put that extra little muffler on, and I used pretty much the same 350 offset muffler on that in the 2 1/2. So I am pretty much, I think we'll just go for single muffler, which like I said goes against everything, but that was a really nice driver. It had the V8 note and it sounded V80. It was proper bit of a clap clap sound, but it was very controllable until you put your foot into it, and then it got rowdy sort of thing. Where I think if I go over twin 2-inch hot dogs, it's going to be clappy all the time. So maybe too much of what I'm probably looking for at this age now. Hard to say that, because I've always wanted to put hot dogs on my 253 and just never got round to it. But I think for now, this is what we're going to go for. We'll make a proper 2-inch system, 2 1/4-inch system all the way through. I really want to do 2 inches, but you just can't buy 2-inch pipe that much more anymore. So we've just opted to go 2 1/4s now, and make it work with that. So old exhaust is off. Let's start knocking up a new one. As much as they're horrible and shitty, we've actually kept a pipe there that's already inside the flange, because I've only got 2 1/4s, and that will just fit nicely into that. So as much as there's a bit of a dog shit thing going on, we'll grind back all his bird shit, I'll weld mine into his, and that'll be my adapters pretty much. So So what we can do, no, I wasn't actually expecting that. This exhaust kit just came as a bit of a trade-off. A workmate wanted me to do some welding up for him, so he just said, "Oh, as payment, do you want to just take that exhaust kit I've got laying around?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'll have a little look at it." So we took it. Wasn't expecting much, but it's actually not too bad. I might be lacking a little bit on the straights possibly, but I can always find them in town. But there's like all the U-bends. There's another 45 on the ground on the other side. A couple of those 4 bits of straight and lots of 90 degrees there. It's actually pretty impressive. I was nearly thinking I could use these as the collectors to come into the muffler and the engine pipes coming into there, possibly. I might just have to get underneath and start tacking things together a little bit. But yeah, that's one of the ideas I had. So yeah, it's not too bad though. I reckon if I can get most of it, I'll get most of it out over diff. I'm just not sure if I'll have enough length to get to the actual tailpipe, the actual slip-ons. So, but if not, like I said, I can always find a bit of exhaust in town to do that. But for now, we'll keep knocking it together and see what we can work out. Pretty cool. let me catch up. Oh, so these pacemaker extractors sit very low. I think it's a bit of a common thing for them. I have seen it before on other cars. I'm not going to mess with it, but sort of got these pipes need to still be tacked in, but the other side is just run straight through into that muffler down the back, which I've got the kick on it naturally to go up over diff nicely. It does have a little bit of room, could go up a little bit higher, but I think I'll probably leave it where it sits. So the idea is we'll just get these couple of bits tacked on. I'm not going to weld them into the flanges just yet. I want to just tack them, take it back off easily, weld up all that section, and then we can put it back under, maybe tack it to the plates up here, the flanges then, to hold it in place. And I'm not going to do the, we could probably do a rear pipe that goes out over. Let's just worry about this bit first. Getting too far out of myself. Let's start welding. The stand doesn't fit under here, so I'm going to have to jerry rig something. Going for the rest of this welding, because that gasless welding wire is just shit. I hate the stuff, but I'm not mucking around spending money on that particular welder. I might as well just go buy a new one. So let's crack out the TIG and see if we can tidy this up. Hey, so I haven't really been showing much video of me doing this exhaust, because the first half went pretty good, like all the section underneath the from the engine to the exhaust of the muffler. It actually went pretty quick, no real problems with that. Just got to the actual tail pieces, and I mean the last exhaust I bought, the twin system I bought for a WB Ute, was back in like 92 or something like that, and I brought a pre-made one. It cost me a fortune back in those days. There wasn't any China equivalents back then, so I bought that and I just bolted that straight on. Wasn't real happy with the sound because it had that big 2-in-1 muffler, a big 4 entry and 2 in 2 out sort of thing. It was a bit quiet, but I'll put up with it, and I just dealt with it. That's why I sort of a little bit more adamant getting the note I want out of this one. But I have sort of gone against my better judgment of, as you know, I've gone to from the 2s into a single 2.5 inch muffler, and then coming back out into the twins to get that nostalgic look at the back. Whether or not I'm going to be happy with that note, I don't know, but it should be very much the same as what I had on my disco. And that was a really nice sound, that thing. It just had a nice note, and then when you start to get up it, you start clapping a bit. So I don't want it to be silly loud, I don't want to be drawing too much attention, but I don't want to be having to stick my boot into it to hear it either. So it's got to have a certain attitude to it. So this is where we're up. It's only just sort of hanging here at the moment. But we just weld the muffler straight onto the actual U piece that I narrowed, and then it just comes up. Lots of joins, but not expecting to be a bloody performance exhaust. And it's sort of tucked up quite nice. Can go up a fraction, but where it sits there is probably just about right. So the headache we're having is trying to do the twins out the back, and how intricate that is to get them on the corner like this. They're going to go up between the body, between the spring have a kink in it and have a bit of a wiggle up there somewhere. It's a bit of a shit fight, to be honest, and then I've got to try and mimic the other side. And I do want both work, and I just don't want one dummy pipe. So I think what we've got to do is we've got to slow down a little bit. I've got this thing all held in with cable ties at the moment. Side on view, which is also quite important. Just don't want that join there to be too in your face. But I think that's actually looking quite nice there. So I think, like I said, slow down a bit, because this is only held in old cable ties at the moment to try and get the actual where I want it to sit. Makes it a bit hard to work with without to keep it readjusting and moving on itself. So I think we're going to have to make one of at least a good mount at the back. I've got to have a little look and see how many exhaust mounts I've got left. We'll make one good mount at the back on this side. That'll at least fix it in a good position where I can manhandle it and work it and measure things properly. So, because right now, a bit of a bump and the whole thing just moves out of shape. It's just giving me the heebie-jeebies a bit like that. So, we'll have a little go at trying to make a mount and see what we work out with that. Yes, well, no use thinking about it. Just got to move the car out, jack it back up and have a little go at it. Let's get in. So, because it's been about 8 hours, just been fucking around about exhaust on the Woody. What's it like? What do I think of it? It's fucked. Now, don't get me wrong, I love old V8 sounds and all that, but there's something about the small block crispness, a little bit of a thong slap. Doesn't have to be a proper thong slap, just proper clap noise. It comes from a little small block engine, but just, and getting that noise without having to rev the shit out of it. Like, you just off idle, you decide to give it a little bit of a tap on the accelerator and it starts getting a bit noisy, sort of thing. That's what I want. But I personally think where a lot of my loss is noise wise right now is a stupid big fucking pacemaker. I think they're equal length, equal tuned or whatever fuck they call them, extractors. I personally think the tiny little cylinders are just echoing down those pipes all the way, and I'm losing that pressure. So just not happy with the noise at all, to be honest. It's just horrible. So where do we go from here? I'm sort of tempted to pull the extractors off, to be honest. Maybe look for a set of standard manifolds or a set of just 4-into-1 extractors. So yeah, that whole exhaust system I made, I feel like it's just going to come off and just going to go in the bin. I had a 96 or something Land Rover Discovery D1, had the 3.9 Rover V8 in it. I rebuilt that engine, chucked all the AFI in the bin and just put a quadrijet on top of a Edelbrock Performer manifold, and I'm pretty sure that was, from memory, that was only just stock exhaust manifolds and engine pipes coming off. I couldn't find pipe at the time, so I ended up sticking 2.5-inch primaries on it into 3-inch, or into 2.5-inch muffler, and then a 3-inch tailpipe going out the back, or 2.5-inch going out the back, and that sounded like arse. Then I lost a lot of that note, so I ended up pulling off the 2.5 primaries and putting back on 2.25, which is about all I could find, and that actually made a lot crisper and a lot sharper and a bit louder. Funny thing is, I know a couple of blokes with the 79 series V8 Cruisers, and the bloke running the 3-inch exhaust is actually louder than the bloke running the 3.5. So sometimes the noise just gets thrown down the tunnel and it doesn't make any more noise, it just bounces around the tube, I guess. And I think that's my problem right now, is tiny capacity getting thrown into those massive extractors, which all join into one collector down underneath the actual footwells there. And then my piping wouldn't be too bad if I was running standard manifolds, but I don't. So I'm going to start hunting. I might put it up for offers to see if someone wants to swap me out some extractors for some standard manifolds, or even some 4-into-1s. And then we're just probably going to start again, to be honest. I don't know if it's really worth mucking around, because by the time I go back to standard manifolds and maybe engine pipes, I'm going to have to be redoing the front sections of those pipes there anyway. So, but that is a critical bit for this build, is getting the right note. So when I take off from the lights, it can be quiet, but if you just decide to take off that little bit more aggressive, it starts clapping. That's what we want. This just ain't there. I thought I was going to get away with it. I thought if we have a similar system as to pretty much lesser system than what the actual Land Rover had, I'll be in it and I'll be winning. But not the case of those extractors, I don't think. I think they had me problem. So yeah, it sounds very chuffy, like you can hear all the noises echoing down, and then it just echoes and reverberates up the actual exhaust pipes. There's like a lack of pressure in there, because it's only a little 253 run, fucking hear like race car extractors. So that's where we're at for now. I mean, I could probably get it registered like this, because it's going to be quiet as shit, and I'm going to get it passed pretty easy. But I might start collecting some bits and see what we can find. So that's a failure on the exhaust system, that's for sure. Come and have a look. I mean, good bit is, I guess I can use the tailpipes are sitting quite nice, and I could probably use them up to before the diff, even though they're 2.25. I can always just put the I'll probably still keep running 2.25, because like I said, it's still easy to find that pipe. Wait and see. It's all up in the air at the moment. I'm just probably a bit bummed. I'd Maybe I should have gone with the hot dogs. If I thought the actual extractors played that big a part in my issues, I would have put the hot dogs on it, the little 2-inch hot dogs into the 2 1/4 pipe, and made do of that. Maybe that could still do the job, but like I said, I'm pretty sure those extractors are just not good for it. So we'll wrap up the exhausting and just say that'll do. It's a bit of a loss, a bit of a failure, and we'll just start fresh and figure it out and gather some parts and go from there. But like I said, it's drivable, we can still use it. It'll pass reg, no problems at all now, it's quiet. So, and compared to the other bird shit thing I had before, which, I mean, have a look at all that. I don't know what that muffler is, that's pretty fucked. Just horrible. So, at least I'm sort of legal now. Definitely legal with the noises and all that. So, well, can't be bothered thinking about it. I'm going inside. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later. See ya.